Good evening and welcome to News 3 Now at 6. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Thanks so much for watching.
We begin tonight with recent news from the board of the local nonprofit Urban Triage. They are defending founder Brandy Grayson and suggesting an alleged multi-year harassment campaign against her.
Our Kyle Pozorski is live outside of the Urban Triage Park Street office with the very latest.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Dana Pellebon, who is a member of Urban Triage, she delivered today's remarks basically defending Grayson's years of work with the grassroots organization. Now, this all comes as several people have come forth alleging some improprieties with Urban Triage and some monies they've gotten from the county board. Pellebon having this to say about the allegations.
These granting organizations, including Dane County Department of Human Services, have not expressed any concerns about service delivery or financial management. During this time period, Urban Triage housed hundreds of people, prevented evictions, and administered millions of dollars of rental assistance. Despite this work and trust placed in Urban Triage by the granting agencies, there is a group of individuals who have waged a multi-year harassment campaign against Brandy Grayson.
Now, Pellebon is also saying this scrutiny is made in the press with some conjecture and inaccurate reporting and is really an attack on black womanhood as well as black organizations. Now today we also did hear here outside of Urban Triage from the Dane County Supervisor Jeff Weigand, who is calling for an audit on the monies that have been allocated here towards Urban Triage. We're going to have more on that information and what Weigand had to say coming up later tonight at 10. But for now, reporting on Madison South Side, I'm Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you so much, Kyle. Now, one of those stories that Pellebon mentioned was a News 3 Now Investigates piece published last week. Our investigation detailed loopholes and a lack of vetting within the Dane County Human Services process for awarding contracts to local groups like Urban Triage. Earlier today on Live at 4, the author of the story, content and assignment editor Jason Cuevas here at News 3, sat down to answer questions on his findings during the investigation.
Got contracts that had an original contract for a small amount and a big contract for a bigger amount. But what struck me is the addendum, the addition to the contract, was dated before the original contract was signed. I'm like, that's not something I see a lot. I'm kind of curious what's going on. And in the process is where I discovered that this amount was being under $100,000. Let it bypass the county rule to have contracts over $100,000 go to a vote before the full board. And investigating these more is where I kind of discovered some discrepancies in the resumes that Urban Triage had provided as part of the application process for these funds.
So if you would like to read Jason's full report, you can find it on the Channel 3000 homepage.
Well, we have an update from Stoughton police on a shooting that happened yesterday. Police say the victim, a 19-year-old man, was shot in the face while in the front passenger seat of a car. The driver drove away from the shooting scene to East Main Street, where police responded to calls. The victim is still receiving treatment at the hospital. Police still aren't sure where that shooting actually happened. They haven't arrested anyone for the shooting just yet and are still trying to identify a person of interest. They're asking anyone with information to call them at that number, 608-873-3374.
A man has been found guilty of killing another man and burning his body in rural Juneau County last year. Donald Dahlberg of Grand Marsh is charged with 15 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide for the death of Floyd Burdick, also of Grand Marsh. Burdick was found dead on January 18th of last year with severe burns in the area of County Highway M at the Oak Ridge Trail parking area. Dahlberg and Burdick were in a car together when Dahlberg shot Burdick in the head 3 times. He then allegedly dumped Burdick's body in a snowbank before burning it. Burdick's vehicle was also set on fire, and Dahlberg is scheduled to be sentenced on May 23rd. Meanwhile, Crystal Toomer is charged with mutilating a corpse, arson, and 2 counts of felony bail jumping. She's scheduled to return to court next month as well.
A man is in custody after a police chase that happened earlier today. At 8:30 this morning, Dane County deputies responded to Hillside Road in Albion for a man acting erratically when the man allegedly tried to hit 2 people with his vehicle. One of them shot into the air. The man drove away, starting that chase. As state troopers chased the man's vehicle, deputies put out tire deflation devices. The man ultimately hit one of them and stopped just north of Highway 1218 in Cottage Grove, the Beltline exit. No one was seriously hurt. The man is now facing charges. Well, will Wednesday be as breezy as these past few days? Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington with the answer to First Warn Forecast.
I got good news. Nope, won't be as breezy on Wednesday. In fact, winds will be quite light on Wednesday compared to our gusty winds that we have right now out there, gusting at times to 25 to 30 miles per hour. By the time we get to Wednesday morning, those wind gusts go light, if not down to near zero. Even at 6 p.m. this time tomorrow night, light winds, but the winds will be back on the increase on Thursday. That's out ahead of our next big weather maker that will be moving into southern Wisconsin. But let's relish in the nice stuff. High temperatures up near 60 degrees, light winds, sunny skies on Wednesday after a little bit of a crisp start Wednesday morning. We'll have lows tonight in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. Right now, 53 in Madison, 55 in Boscoville, 54 in Janesville, and 50 in the Dells. A lot of 53s and 54s dotting the landscape in Dane County. And you can plan on temperatures staying at or above 40 degrees through at least 10 o'clock as the skies then clear out. Coming up in Maine weather, we got a lot to talk about Thursday going on into Friday. A big weather maker bringing rain and thunderstorm chances to southern Wisconsin. Will some of them be severe? I have the answer momentarily.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. In other news, the Janesville Police Department is warning residents of a phone scam going around. According to police, the scammer is impersonating law enforcement officers. Victims are told they have a warrant for their arrest for failing to appear for jury duty or for unpaid traffic tickets. The scammer then asks the victim to pay using either cryptocurrency, gift cards, or leaving cash at a designated location. Now, no, Janesville police will never call you to demand payments for a warrant or unpaid ticket.
Oh, we're a day away from the Memorial Union chairs rolling out in front of Lake Mendota.
It's wonderful. This year, there's something extra bright to look forward to as well. Our Meryl Hubbard explains.
It won't be long before Memorial Union is filled with the classic Union chairs. It's one of the ways UW-Madison signifies that summer is just around the corner. But until these chairs roll out, you can spot this ray of sunshine in the meantime.
They're absolutely adorable, and they're selling very quickly, which we're very excited about.
UW-Madison's Memorial Union stocked the shelves with a sunny stuffy named Ray Lakin.
I'm happy every time I pass the Badger Market, like on my way to work. I just can't help but smile.
Ray is the second ever Union plushie to become available to the public.
The first Terrace Chairling plushie dropped in November 2024, Ms. Maple Fields.
But before Maple and Ray, there was Emily Swanson, a now UW-Madison senior whose creativity made these plushies a reality.
I get to see my work out in the world, and I think that's just like a feeling you can never really replicate.
Emily is an example of the union's mission.
We're incorporating student voice and student creativity in everything that we do.
Emily has been a graphic design intern for Wisconsin Union since her freshman year. She says art has always been her thing.
My favorite thing is like joy and bringing people like happiness and color, and I think that's what like the chairlings are, is colorful and happiness.
Emily will graduate this year, but she wants Ray to keep shining for many more.
That's the reason I picked this facial expression, because I think it just encapsulates that joy, that sunshine that like people come to the terrace for during the summer.
The Ray plushies are available for purchase at Memorial Union, Union South, and online. Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl. And all of the proceeds for the plushies go back to supporting student leadership at the Memorial Union. And coming up after the break, child care advocates prepare to rally for state funding.
Plus, News 3 Now's community baby shower is underway. We check in with our partners at Babies and Beyond on which items they need the most right now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Federal Drug Administration is warning about fake Ozempic, saying that it could pose a safety risk. The labels on the counterfeit products have a real lot number, PAR 0362, but they also have a fake serial number. The fake serial number begins with the first 8 digits, 517. 46517. So if the real lot number is coupled with that fake serial number, the product is counterfeit and should not be used.
Now's your chance to help donate baby and toddler essentials that'll help hundreds of families across the area. News 3 Now once again partnering with Babies and Beyond of Wisconsin for our community baby shower. The nonprofit provides free materials and supplies to pregnant women and their families with children up to the age of 4. Executive Director Brenda Collins says they serve 1,300 babies a month, and to help the growing need. Right now, Babies and Beyond is looking for gently used clothing, strollers, high chairs, swings, and most importantly, larger size diapers and wipes.
They could be in those for up to a year or longer. So we need those larger sizes. And you can donate right from your home. We have an Amazon wish list, or you can go out to the store and buy a pack and donate them right to the center. We're open for extended hours this week only, 9 to 4.
So how you can help Babies and Beyond, located at 1922 South Stoughton Road in Madison. To find a full list of items, you can visit our website, channel3000.com.
And happening tomorrow, hundreds of childcare advocates are set to rally for state funding. This march will begin at 11:50 at the Concourse Hotel and Governor's Club. Speakers include state and national childcare leaders, current and former early childhood providers, a manufacturing CEO, and parents. Legislative visits with state elected officials will begin at 1 o'clock and run throughout the afternoon. And still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, the Brewers return to television Wisconsin.
Plus, sometimes it is rocket science. Meet the Wisconsin native who helped make Blue Origin's historic space mission yesterday a reality.
And will this breezy weather end soon? Alex will have the complete forecast when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Some of you may have seen yesterday's historic rocket launch featuring an all-female crew, including CBS Morning's Gayle King.
But did you know that the rocket has a Wisconsin connection? Pretty cool. Reporter Katie Fertenton has the story.
4, command engine start, 2, 1, ignition.
A historic morning for space travel and exploration as a Blue Origin rocket blasted off.
Liftoff.
On board, a star-studded crew of household names, but watching on the ground, a name some in the Chippewa Valley might know.
I can't believe it. It's crazy because this never was on my horizon. I was like, oh, yeah,
Rob Balo is a Chippewa Falls native, now working for Blue Origin, and more specifically, working on the rocket that took off Monday morning.
The engine that flew into space was the one that I work on. So what I do is essentially do inspections and then maintenance and repair and overhaul.
He's part of a team of 6 who make sure the reusable rockets are ready to go again.
Because a lot of things happen when you go to space, really extreme temperatures, extreme pressures, a lot of vibration. It's a pretty harsh environment for anything.
But he didn't always dream of space and rockets. It wasn't until taking a class at CVTC that he found a passion for physics.
Instructor there, Mary Purvis, that I really loved, she was inspired me to get into physics. She's really cool and had a lot of information, and she basically just could explain the universe in ways where I'm like, that's so cool that you can explain why rainbows exist, through just pure science. I've always had more questions than answers. And so I loved physics because it was just not only can we tell you an answer, we can tell you how we arrived at it.
That newfound passion led him to UW-Eau Claire, then to the University of Minnesota, and now to the Blue Origin launch pad, where he got to watch something he worked on take off into space and return back safely. Monday's flight was only Blue Origin's 11th human flight.
It's just you're really pushing the limits of what's possible. So it's anytime you're doing that, there's going to be some lessons to learn, when you're the first to do something or you're on the cutting edge of something, you don't know what you don't know. And so that's scary.
But what he's not scared of, taking big swings, which one day may put him inside one of those rockets.
Do you ever want to go to space, or are you no?
Oh, I would love to. That'd be great. Yeah. No, I would. Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
So after the landing, Bilal got to meet Gayle King, saying how inspiring it was to see her get out of her comfort zone and face her fears of flying. Now turning to weather, we could have some thunderstorms later this week. But first, this viewer wants to know.
Hi, I'm Michelle from Red Shed Garden and Gifts in Baraboo. Alex, how's the weather?
Hey there, Michelle. Hope you can hear me. How's the weather? Nice to meet you. Pretty dandy right now in Baraboo. We had sunny skies today, clouds earlier, and I got even better weather for you, Michelle, as we go on into Wednesday. Temperatures will dip down in the 40s. The winds are going to lighten up as well, in Baraboo included. And then Baraboo, you're also in the line for some thunderstorms as well. More on that in just a moment. It's part of the 3 things you need to know. Let's talk about the nice stuff first and then get into the not such nice stuff Thursday and Friday and that wet Easter that I'm tracking. Right now with our live First Warn weather cam, you can see if you're watching closely that Upland Hills sky cam is still moving about there. It's still a bit on the gusty side, but good news by the time we get to Wednesday morning, winds will ease on up and much of the day will be light winds featuring with sunny skies. Can't be beat on Wednesday before the winds increase back up into the 30s, roaring out of the southeast as we head into Thursday out ahead of that next wet weather system. But all the good stuff here first. Highs up near 60, even in Baraboo at 55 degrees. It'll feel pretty good compared to some of these past few days that have been a bit on the chillier side. Now let's track the thunderstorms coming in as soon as 5 o'clock. So just about this time on Thursday, this is a batch of thunderstorms moving through as a warm front tries to lift from south to the north across southern Wisconsin. And as we head towards 10 o'clock, that warm front gets up to just about to Lone Rock, to just south of the Dells, over towards Juneau. South of that line, Madison, Janesville will be on the warmer side and usher in a little bit more humidity. One or two of these storms could be on the stronger side Thursday night going on into Friday. I'll explain a little bit more about some of the limitations that hopefully will keep widespread severe weather at bay. So going into Friday morning, can't rule out a couple of scattered thunderstorms to start the day. But as we get later into Friday, watch what happens when we get to 2 o'clock. The winds are out of the northeast and down across the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That's where that cold front lines up from Monroe to Janesville over towards Elkhorn. That's an early frontal passage, and if that were to occur, that would keep the severe weather threat south into Illinois, which hopefully we don't have any severe weather at all between Thursday going on into Friday. We can't escape the moisture, which is good. Thumbs up on that. Good quarter to half inch, maybe an isolated inch of water. Again, the threats that we're up against here Thursday night and Friday could have a strong storm. Not calling out alert days yet because the frontal timing may reduce the overall threat and keep that severe weather threat limited and not widespread. But good chances for rain Thursday going into Friday. Good chances for rain as we head out towards Easter Sunday as well. A glimpse at that weather system, just a washout as we go into Sunday, unfortunately. So any outdoor plans probably not going to be quite the day for it. You might want to pick Saturday for an Easter egg hunt instead. And as we head into Monday, those winds roaring in out of the west behind that weather system. All through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going on into Monday, widespread 1 to maybe 3 inches, some localized heavier amounts not out of the question. We'll take all these raindrops, just not the severe weather, to continue to help improve our drought conditions. Right now we're in the 50s, Dane County low to mid 50s, and as we plan the rest of your evening, we'll be in the 40s when you join us for our 10 o'clock newscast. And again, keeping an eye on that Thursday, Friday potential for strong storms.
Thank you so much, Alex. And the Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight for their second game against the Detroit Tigers. You can watch the game on Television Wisconsin as well. The Crew is looking to get back into the win column after losing their last 3 games. The Tigers took the first game of the series last night 9-1. Television Wisconsin is channel 3.2 and coverage begins at 6:30.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers bitten by the injury bug at spring practice. Which key piece will be out for a while? That's next on News 3 Now. Last Thursday, Kevin Haywood left spring practice early with an apparent knee injury, and today Luke Fickell confirmed what the Badgers were dreading. His starting left tackle tore his ACL. Haywood is scheduled to have surgery and will more than likely miss the entire season. So a starting spot is open on the offensive line, and it's a next man up mentality in Madison. I guess we don't have what Luke Fickell said, but the Bucs start the playoffs on Saturday in Indianapolis, and as expected, they'll be without Damian Lillard. ESPN is reporting that he'll miss the start of the postseason. Lillard has been sidelined since March 18th. When asked if there was any possibility he'll play in the first round, Doc Rivers said, quote, "We're hopeful." Better news, Wisconsin women's basketball has added a big-time forward from the transfer portal. Gift Ochina is coming to Madison after averaging a double-double last year at Southern Illinois. She was the nation's second leading rebounder and ranked 25th in the country in blocks. And on the ice, the Badgers were shining on the big stage again at the Women's World. Second period, Caroline Harvey sends a snipe into the back of the net to light the lamp to make it a 4-point game. Fellow Badger Hillary Knight had the assist, which was her 50th of her career, breaking the Women's World's assist record. The U.S. advances to Thursday's quarterfinals where they'll face Germany.
She just keeps going, Hillary Nine. Zach, thank you. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10 tonight, News 3 Now investigates Urban Triage's contract with the Dane County Board. We'll look at the changes that were made by a subcommittee, how the organization is addressing some recent reporting. Again, that's tonight, News 3 Now at 10.
We have a final check on the forecast. At least the wind is dying down a little bit.
The wind is easing on up. Wednesday is looking pretty nice out there. Wonderful Wednesday. Let's call it that. 58 degrees, light winds, sunny skies. Then not the best stuff as we go Thursday into Friday. Weather system brings some shower and thunderstorm chances. We're keeping an eye on the potential for a couple of stronger storms, but right now we think the stronger storms are likely going to stay to the southwest in Iowa on Thursday and more likely to the south in Illinois on Friday. But the good news is we get the raindrops, which is always needed.
All right. Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
See you back here at 10 o'clock.